Hi, Joe.
Andy, can you
How
hear
are
me?
you? I can hear you fine.
Man, that was unbelievably difficult.
Yep. Luckily, you only have to do it once.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like with Colleen's call, I've never had to do that.
It's because she doesn't use the authentication thing, but that's the only way to kick people out
Yeah.
and not have them come right back in.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the downside to trying to automate these meetings is that if you're not going to have somebody here that's babysitting and kicking people out and having the waiting room and all the other stuff, then we have to have stuff in place that keeps scumbags from hopping in. But that's the reason why we literally posted it everywhere. Like, you have to pre-register to be at this meeting. You have to be pre-registered to be at
I mean, I spent the last 15, 20 minutes trying to get in. So I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure there's other people who are like, oh my God, do I have a Zoom account? What's my Zoom account? Hi, Gabe.
Hey guys, start taking a minute because I just what Andy said.
There's going to be a lot.
There's going to be some late people coming in.
Some is going to be an understatement.
All because of a bunch of kids.
I know. It got I couldn't believe when we got hijacked. So for some of you who don't know, I don't know, there's only a few people
it's
on
just it's just us and Gabe and Diane.
Oh, okay.
I gave her the down low already. She's like, I'm just glad I had a Zoom account.
Oh my gosh. That was brutal.
Yeah.
And I mean, when they hijacked the account, the thing, I mean, I sent you the link.
Yep.
It happened, and
plus we have the recording that I guess it's actually illegal. I could send it to like the FBI, but you think they're going to do anything to a bunch of kids? Like, take the link and the video from the FBI and send it to them? What are they going to do?
Not at all.
They're not good. They don't have time for that crap.
No. And
I got the video from Scott that you sent, the YouTube video that they troll all these other Zoom meetings too, I guess. Huh? I'm like, wow, they got no life.
Pretty much,
living in mom's basement. It's cool.
Pretty much. So it was like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. We'll see how many people try to get on or able.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure it out, unfortunately. Like,
I don't
even you have to buy a Zoom account first, right?
Well, they're free. So like, you just literally type in your email and a password and you've got an account. Click a link saying this is actually me when it comes in your email. Takes 30 seconds.
Okay.
But
yeah, I just happen to have one. I couldn't find my password though, so I pushed through Google.
Joe had the same thing. Joe had the same issue. He couldn't find his password. He had to reset it.
Well, all of a sudden I get a thing saying, "Hey, someone's trying to sign in." Did you? I'm like, I have a Zoom account. So
you do
I'm
now.
like, all right, I didn't know that. So I just said, all right. So at least literally, I was trying to get on since almost 20 minutes to 9.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
I figured things were going to be tough today. So
Andy, doesn't it give a meeting passcode though in the email though and everything? A user ID and passcode. So you have to have
not so it that's the meeting ID and passcode to get in the meeting. It's not the actual get me in. It's the I need to have access to this. So we gated it in two ways. So there's two changes. One is this meeting and housing provider support and any other educational subgroup meetings that we do are going to be $20 for the free members, because now we have a free membership level, right? And they're going to be free for paid members. So we force them to go to the FREIA website to register. And if they're a free member, they have to pay their money on the website to get the information to join the meeting. So there's going to be static for a couple of these meetings as people figure out that this is now, because the amount of value here is the conversations and the business that's done and the education, they're going to have to start forking over money to attend this meeting.
Okay.
There's no more free meetings. There's no more go to 2 free and blah, blah, blah. Now we're just automating it all. It's all going through the website.
Yeah.
If you want to be here, you're either a paid member or you're not here.
Yeah.
Like that's,
I mean, there's a lot of people doing a lot of deals through this group right now.
correct.
So they're getting a ton of value, and it's like, for $20, when you're
$20 or 170 for the year.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
and then it helps us pay our, like, we literally went in the hole last year, $19,000 on the P&L.
Yeah.
We
I believe it.
burned
Wow.
19. We burned 19. We spent $75,000 last year
Yeah.
as a group.
Yep. This is a serious non-for-profit organization right here. And helping people making millions of dollars in deals. That's what's so crazy.
Yes, the
Hopefully-
$169 or whatever is the least they can do, or the
Yep.
$20 to get in the door.
So I don't
Everything
know.
else is free now.
I mean, right now it's about 5 after. It was what, 4
people so far.
people. Oh man, Scott's not even on. Scott's probably having problems.
He probably hasn't even started trying to get on yet. Let's be honest. It's Scott. He's probably crawling out of the shower right now.
Oh my God. He usually does his morning walks and stuff like that. That's what he does. I know he was traveling. They went from Key West, then right from Key, they spent 7 or 8 days in Key West, then they went right to Daytona to go to the Daytona 500. So they got right in there, and then from there they went right to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I saw
Wow.
the pictures. It was cool.
Party.
Yeah, so they were doing that. Plus he was doing a few more deals. So they, they've been bebopping around the country here. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
making deals.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. But man, I'm like, this is gonna be interesting in the next few minutes. Man, Diane, how long did it take you to get in?
I was just lucky that my Google account had my password saved,
Oh, okay.
because then I went right through, it said,
Yeah.
join through Google, and I'm like, okay, because I didn't have any other ideas, but yeah, it took me 10 minutes or more, because I had to go back and pre-register, which I hadn't read the other emails. Sorry, Andy.
That's okay. Nobody ever reads any of the emails we send, so it kind of goes with the territory.
And what about you, Gabe?
I actually I'm on my iPad, so I again, I don't remember my Zoom password, but it asked me to sign with my Apple ID. So I'm like, I put my fingerprint on the touchpad. I'm like, okay, signed in. So I got lucky in that sense, because
Oh,
go back to my-
oh my God.
Get it.
So, oh man. So between the both of you two, Diane and Gabe, have you guys been busy doing stuff, or what's going on your ends? Might as well see what the heck is going on. Might only be just a few of us on a very short call over here today.
I don't know. Have I been busy? I guess I've been busy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say right now, because I mean, people are saying yes. Some people are saying yes, but in 3 months. Yes, but in 4 months or something like that. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll call you in 3 months. So it's just a little slow right now. They're saying yes, but can you say yes yesterday, please? So
Yeah. And what about you, Diane?
I was on vacation last week, so getting ready for vacation and getting over it. I don't know, vacations kind of steal away your work time. So it was fun. Went to the Dominican Republic, so
Oh,
yeah. So I with my family, so I have to get back and I don't know, get serious to begin with, and just figure out how to look for these things and then make an offer, right?
I was going to talk about this tonight, or this today actually, but one of my buddies, I don't know if anyone else can even get on. We might have like no call or whatever though, but one of my friends, he put in, so the MLS has been having a ton more properties and prices are dropping. He does flips in the city.
Okay.
And so he went in and he put in 50 offers.
Oh my God.
50. He got 10 of them.
Wow.
10. And that's so right now he has, I think, 15 or 18 flips going on at once. Okay. Now he got all of them through the MLS. Now, some of them he's probably going to make, maybe 10. Some he's going to make way more than that on flips.
Yeah.
So he's been actually, I mean, he got to the point for the first time I ever heard him say, he's like, you know what? I can't buy more properties right now. Yeah, because he's all by himself. He does this himself. He's got his guys and stuff, but now he's also babysitting the tenants, on top of the flips, on top of the repairs. But he's been going on to the MLS. Yeah, I mean, 50 but he got 10.
So how did he, like, okay, so he gets 10, did he have the money to do that? Or did he
Hard money
then
lenders.
go to his lenders? Okay,
Yeah, he's got the lenders in place, so he goes in there. His main thing is the flip. That's all he does. He flips. And he's so
Hmm.
focused. So he's been doing that, Diane. And yeah, so he's got about 15 of them going. And
God.
and so right now we're in March. Now 5 of them carried over, 4 or 5 of them carried over from, they started at the beginning of last year, but the last 10, these 10 he's gotten is probably over the last 30, 45 days.
Wow,
this
just
year.
like, just from the MLS, yeah,
Yeah, so market's shifting. So people are finding stuff.
okay.
And so there's certain things he looks at. There's all kinds of stuff that he does in regards to that. He'll find stuff 45 plus days on the market. Doesn't
So he
look,
has those criteria set in place, and then he goes in and offers, and he offers so much below
Yep.
asking.
so he did one where I think they wanted like 55 or 60. He went in, he offered him like, I think close to 30, whatever it was, because he needed work. Like, no way. A couple weeks later, hey, you still interested?
Yeah, right.
Oh, he's out there looking, but that's his model,
And he makes sure he gets at least 10 on every one he does.
No, he doesn't get, this is the most he's ever had, but he put in 50 offers.
What if he got all 50? That would have been something.
Would have been a heck of a problem.
Would have
And
been a
the way
big
he
problem.
offered too much.
That's right.
So then you pick and choose, but yeah.
Yeah, because then he could just not go through with it. Attorney approval, just not do it.
Yeah. So just if you're trying to find stuff, things are shifting, and well, I'm noticing that. And even with you, Gabe, I've been more focused on properties. I've been doing some serious calls, for the storage. We put an LOI in, the guy was just, so the guy came back and then we went back again. So the guy goes, well, we're looking at another one. So I just hung back. I didn't pretend like I was going to be too desperate for it. I said, okay, no problem. Let me know. And I just left it alone. And so working on a couple of other ones, Gabe. And I sent Scott some information about it. But so Gabe, I called on one. The guy wanted way too much money. They wanted over 4. I needed to be maybe 2 million. So I'm talking to him. He goes, you know what, Joe? We've got a facility because we only like these guys that work. We only like 35,000 square feet and up. This one was about 14. We added 70 more units, and it's still small. It's like 20 something thousand. He goes, the other 70 still need to be filled. He goes, and I'm talking to him when I got to know him. He knew. I said, listen, I'm just letting you know, I'm not one of those yahoos. It's just a tire kicker. If I kick the tire, it's going to go flat. So you don't want me kicking your tire, I told him. And he goes, Joe, we got this place. And he goes, listen, these guys, they understand, they're willing to hold a mortgage with they wanted 1.4 million. They go, we want 12% down. They'll do 3% interest rate amortized over 40 years. Okay.
Wow.
On a 3.5-year balloon. And I go, and they wanted what's called a master lease, and they may even extend the 3.5 years because they know you have to fill up the other 70 units. But I'm thinking it'll be worth somewhere, give or take, a little. It's got to be well over $2+ million. So I got to work on that one today, Gabe.
Wow.
So a master lease, only 12% down. They want like $100-something thousand down, but I'm thinking I may be able to get them down a little bit less than that. Off market, completely off market.
Nice.
So just all because I was talking to him, I was making him laugh. And I just told him, I said, look, man, I'm new. I'm not a tire kicker, but I will flatten your tires. So that's what I told him, man. So, and I'm like, holy crap. So we'll see what happens. You
That's,
know?
that's funny. I forgot, I got to, and sometimes the smaller ones go quick because I'm gonna tell you real quick, there's Andy, the one you gave me on Monday night, the lead you gave me in Virginia. So
Yeah.
you gave me this lead of this 5,000 square foot facility. Okay, cool, great. And I appreciate that. Cause here's what happened. Thursday, Scott and I looked at it real quick. I'm like 2 seconds, like, all right, you know what? How the hell, let's just make a deal. Let's make an offer, I called the realtor because the number is connected to the realty company. So I ended up
Of
calling-
course.
Of course, right? So I called her at like, I don't know, noon or something like that. I don't know what time I called her. And by 5 o'clock, when she got back to the office, signed contract closing next Friday. I'm like, are you kidding me? I couldn't even have time to get any due diligence items or anything like that. No, it was already done deal. They didn't care how much, nothing. They just wanted to sign the contract and get out of it and sell it. I mean,
Wow.
dude, within 5 hours, it was sold. I'm like, what is this? I never heard that before. I'm like, that sucks.
Doesn't that drive you crazy?
I was pissed.
I mean, it was below your usual criteria anyway, but
I didn't
still.
care. $19 a square foot. Let's do it. Who cares?
Right. That's what I saw it. And I'm like, $19 a square foot. What?
$19.
And it's on the
a square
MLS? What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would have gone after that one.
Right?
Was that local?
No, it was in Virginia.
Oh, okay. Ugh.
Oh man, I was pissed. I was like, "Are you kidding me? How could you?" I'm like,
For every pissed off real estate investor, there's one extremely happy one.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It's like a coin. Are you the tail or are you heads? It's one of the two.
Uh,
Guys, I don't know if this is even good. I don't know if we're gonna have a call today. If Scott's on, I guess.
easier, yeah.
Scott
I'm
figured
on
it
now,
out.
Joe. Yep, I've figured it out too. Yep.
Yep. We
Yeah,
figured this
so-
was going to be rocky making this change.
So I'm getting text message. Hey Joe, is there a new way to join the Zoom meetings? No meeting ID, no password code. I was sent. I can't log in. I really wish I could have joined in this morning. Oh
Yep.
man, we're gonna have to.
Send them that link I sent you.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if they're gonna get on anyways, but I think she was working out.
They need to yeah, I mean all the stuff is on FREIA. They go register on the FREIA site. It sends them an email that gives them the information.
Yeah, I don't have her email. She did it by text.
Yeah,
So-
just tell her to go to the FREIA.com site and then check her email.
Yeah. Yeah, even Brandy. I don't think Brandy can get in either. Everybody. Holy smokes, yeah. I'm thinking we may be calling this one in too. And
Yeah.
it's the exact opposite from the last one.
Got it. Well, you're gonna have the same thing if you don't stay and help people figure out how to get in, because it's
Yeah,
gonna be
well-
this next week because no one's gonna take the time to go to the
No.
website and do what they need to do
I'm
until the
thinking,
last minute.
for next week's meeting, they're gonna have to announce that. And
Well, it's
really-
gonna be next month. We did. No one cares.
Yeah.
We sent out 3 emails, Joe. 3, all saying you have to pre-register and have this shit done before the meeting.
Yeah. I know. It's
You
all
can
right.
announce it as many times as you want, but until they actually need to do it, they're not going to do it.
I know.
That's the sad reality.
Yeah. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Is-
So yeah, I figured out how to join. How's everybody doing? I know I joined a little late, but
Good, buddy.
Hey, Scott, good.
good. Diane, what have you been up to lately?
Oh, not enough.
Mm-hmm.
At vacation, and I changed my real
Hey.
estate brokerage, so I'm kind of excited about that. They have a nice what is it, CRM that I can put together my customers and yeah, just reach out to people and tell them what I'm looking to invest. I think that's my next step, just telling enough people that I want to invest. So
Okay.
yeah.
See, we're getting people. People are coming on. We got 7 now. They're starting to figure it out. Hi, Glenn.
Yeah. We're having a rough time getting on.
Change always is painful.
Yeah.
Rough.
If I can
Got
get
there.
on, a tree can get on.
Truth. That's the truth.
Hey,
So, I know everybody's, for those of you who don't know, they switched everything out. We got hijacked a couple of weeks ago. Our meeting did, so so Andy was gracious enough to set us up with a new security system for our Zoom meetings. So
This
you
is
got
the only Zoom meeting left, actually. This is
Yeah,
it. This is the one.
we'll probably end up going, half and half like you guys were talking about, or whichever way that Jacob was talking about.
Yep.
Road here coming up.
And there's definitely changes to everything that's going on from a overall standpoint at FREIA with the new leadership. We're trying to get the free membership rolled out, but the free membership means that we're losing people who used to pay to the free membership. So now we're charging for this meeting and for the housing provider meeting, because these two meetings are really where the education and the networking in-depth stuff and the deals are done, and all the big heavy stuff happens in these two meetings. So if you're a free member, you have to pay $20 to get in the door. If you're a paid member, you get in whenever you want. And obviously our online only people that are out in California and wherever, they're going to get in for nothing as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. So that's how come everybody's having a problem getting on. So I don't know if anyone else is getting text messages, but no. So how many people are on right now?
we got 7 at the moment.
7.
Hey, Pat,
Where-
I looked at the numbers from Pat's meeting, the live one over at Ezzy's that he does on Thursdays, which now
Yeah.
Becca's going to be doing for 3 months while Pat enjoys the sun in Florida.
Yeah.
They only had 8 on average now.
Yeah, well, the evening meetings, those are the ones.
The evening meetings, they have like 30.
Yep, 30. Yep. I know.
Yep.
I know. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Scott, I don't know if you wanted to talk about it. I know this is like real small, so I don't know how long we're going to be on for this. This may be. But anything
I
going
see
on?
we got Tracy, and I'm gonna apologize, Tracy. Are you newer to the group? You've probably been on a
Newer.
few times. And
I joined last summer.
Okay, all right. Okay. So, well, alrighty then. What's your, and I apologize, what's your, I know pretty much everybody else on the Zoom pretty well. I don't know if I've met you a few times. I'm on the road traveling all the time, and I'm out of here about half the time. So where are you from, and what's your experience in real estate? Where are you at with real estate and all that?
So my experience is I'm still brand new. Haven't bought a property yet, looking for properties. I have a partner looking to do buy and hold long-term and mid-term rentals in the area. Got my LLC, so just in the beginning stages of everything.
Awesome.
Okay. And your long-term, midterm rentals, do you have a market that you're gonna go after? Is there a certain town that you're gonna look into?
Yeah, Rochester with all the hospitals, and we're looking for business professionals, maybe even some insurance claims, people that need housing. So downtown, near the hospitals, essentially, ideally.
Okay. All right, cool. I've been out of Rochester for a couple of years, so I'm not. Andy, is there any zoning changes or anything that you know of going on in the Rochester area?
They're still
Short-term?
trying to. So there's 2 things statewide. They're bringing back the eviction moratoriums. They're trying to. ERAP is coming back. They got funding. So there's going to be a ton of delays on evictions. So tenant screening is going to go back to the top of the heap as far as letting people into your property. They're still trying to zone out all Airbnbs in the city. If it's inside any of the city zip codes, they're trying to ban Airbnbs.
Whether it's midterm or short term.
They haven't really decided. Let's say that.
More to come.
Yeah, they don't want them in their neighborhoods, blah, blah, blah. And then the there's another push on the state level for good cause eviction coming from the state. So we know we got it blocked in Rochester. Rochester can't ever do it on their own because we got city council to vote against it. But if the state passes a good cause eviction, which it's trying to, along with TOPA, which is tenant option to purchase, which basically means that before you as a landlord are allowed to sell the property that the tenant is living in, you have to offer it to them and wait for the 6 months it's going to take them to go through all the steps to get funding to buy that property. So my
Wow.
advice has not changed in 3 years.
You
Buy
can't
out of
make this
state and
stuff
manage
up.
remotely. If you're going to rent to people, don't do it in New York because it is not going to get any friendlier from here out. Because now it's to the
Wow.
point where even the home builders have no ability to stop the stupid at the state level because so many people moved that between the gerrymandering and the map changes, there is no way to stop anything that Hochul or anybody else on the state government level wants to do. So it's just a freight train from here out. It's just going to get worse.
Wow.
You're just a ball of great news, Andy.
Horrible.
I know. Why do you ask me these things?
Well,
I'm
Tracy,
trying
I
to
don't.
look for a bridge.
Yeah, yeah. You can't make this stuff up. What Andy just explained, I didn't hear half of it, but Tracy, just bring that up, just kind of to think about too. I'd hate to see you go down the road with that, and then find
Yeah.
out that the city won't allow it.
Right.
I know town of Greece right now. Last I knew, town of Greece is like, oh no short term or midterm rentals. They have to be long term rentals.
Wow.
So
Yeah. And
What are these
there's a big push
traveling
to that.
professionals supposed to do? I mean, this is crazy. Stay in a hotel.
yep.
Wow.
It's probably the hotel industries that's the big pushers behind that. They got big lobbies and stuff. The hotels do. So hotels are pushing some of the politicians who can be, hotels are pushing some politicians to enact these because the politicians or the hotels are big donors to the politicians.
Mhm.
So I think that's what's going on there.
It is absolutely what's going on. Yes, there is a lot of the big money coming from the top, let's say. And that's been like the West Coast got it last year, and it's the East Coast this year because I'm hearing the same thing on the Airbnbs and all that from Vermont, from Maine, Massachusetts, like Maryland. It's the East Coast now. Last 2 years it's been the West Coast. Now it's the East Coast, and they're just shoving it down everybody's throats.
What is the hate? Like, why are they?
Because it's putting the hotels out of business
Hateful.
because they're generally cheaper and people would rather have the privacy in their own facilities and amenities.
Right.
So
Right.
they're trying to get rid of their competition, basically.
Gotcha. Wow.
Yep, gotta love it. Never
And they were
ends.
successful on the West Coast?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's huge restrictions now. Some cities ban them outright. Oregon, Washington, California. If you can do it, it's usually under very specific circumstances and very specific neighborhoods with all sorts of variances and permits and noise ordinances and you name it. So yeah, Airbnb is under attack as a business, period. And don't be fooled by the record profits that they posted the other day, because a lot of that is management fees and stuff for vacant places. Because it's if you watch the local here in Rochester, just the Finger Lakes and the Canandaigua Lake circuit, they started drying up. Their reservation started drying up in October of last year, and as far as I understand it, that's still a bloodbath. So yeah, it's all about location and having an exit strategy, because they're all talking about make sure you know what your exit strategy is, because if you don't have one, you're going to get burned. You need to be able to turn it into a long-term rental or a midterm rental or flip it, because there's no guarantee you'll be able to fill it.
So Andy, quick question here. You said the Airbnbs were drying up in Canandaigua, you said, as far as for a lot of vacancies, or just
Yes.
drying up as far
A
as
lot of vacancies. Yeah. Not quantity of them, but the actual paying the bills by getting people to sign up and go there is drying up. And it's pretty much across the state. Yeah. And people are trying to find ways out now. There's people selling when you're starting to see these people selling their Airbnbs and they're saying, oh, this is great, it's just we're going to go a different direction and do something else because blah blah blah. Yeah, it's because they haven't been able to pay their mortgage. That's why they're doing it.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
and now Tracy's all nervous.
I am.
New York,
Now I
New
gotta
York
rethink
and-
everything.
New York in well, that's because everything is all of the business. Okay, and here's the other thing. All the business models that have made people a ton of money in the last 10 years in real estate have pretty much dried up because there's no more free money. You're not going to get a mortgage for 30 years at 3%, which means that when you're looking at NOI, guess what's not included in your calculation for NOI for a property? Debt service. So when your payment doubles and you're still working off NOI when you're calculating out the numbers on a deal, well, yeah, you're not going to make any money. that's reality. So like the Burr method, there's no more cash out refi 30-year mortgage, invest it somewhere else and pay yourself. Like that can't happen anymore. You can't do it. No one's going to give you a 100% refi. You're going to go to 80, maybe 85 if you're lucky, but then your mortgage payment is going to be higher than your cash flow. So how's that going to work? You can't pay yourself and you can't invest in another property. Like
Unbelievable.
you got to go the Joe LaBarbera method where you pay 30% on the dollar for everything. And then you can afford to do the Burr method.
Right.
Much, yeah. I don't even the word retail. Ugh.
Right.
Ugh.
See?
I hate saying that word. I really don't like saying that word. You have no idea. It's just it makes me ill. That's how come, that's how come all the rentals that I own, people are like, why aren't you buying? Why aren't you buying? I waited and I waited and I waited. I like patience. So now if the market goes up, I'm fine. If it goes down, I'm still fine. No matter what, I'm still going to be able to sleep. I don't want to have to worry about, oh my God, and yeah. But Tracy, don't be all of a sudden freaking out.
Nope. You still have to find something, but just go elsewhere. Honestly, like there's plenty of places that are still going to be friendly to it around the country.
Yeah.
It's just that the East and West coasts are not.
Crazy.
And go places where you can evict somebody in 14 days instead of having to evict them in 90 to, what are we on now? 28 months for some people.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, it's because of the way the laws were written in 2019 when the pandemic hit. All the rules and regs they put into place basically put a freeze on evictions for over 2 years. So if you had started eviction proceedings before the pandemic in like October, you couldn't get in front of a judge until, when was it? Spring of this year? Or spring of 2022? And then if they applied for the funding, which had no money left, they could still apply for ERAP. And then it would extend it another, month or two. And then they'd get up to 3 adjournments at a month or 2 each because of the amount of pending cases. So yeah, 3 years to get somebody evicted while they're trashing your property and not paying your bills.
Unbelievable.
New York is not worth doing business with. It's just don't do it.
It's horrible in so many ways. So many ways.
Don't do it. It stinks because the institutional investors are going to come in and snatch it all up because they have the overhead and capabilities to manage through that crap. But it's going to create a lot of issues in the long term as far as deferred maintenance, turning properties into slums and all sorts of stuff. So it's yeah. New York has got a long road to hoe now. 2 or 3 years is going to take 20 years to fix.
I was actually able to get an eviction through. Just had the warrant served yesterday.
City
And
or
it's,
suburbs?
City in the city of Rochester. Took about 4 months.
That's not terrible.
And I had another eviction going and I, coerced the tenant into leaving. And he did that. So
yes, well there you
had
go.
some
Take
turnover, some
possession
good-
back. Yep.
yeah, good luck with some turnover. So it's not all, as glum as you're painting it. So
No, there's always bright spots, but there's a lot more downside. And if you're getting into
Yes.
it new, you don't have the capital or the patience. Like somebody's going to go in, fall flat on their
Oh, yeah.
face, and they're just going to give up.
Oh yeah, if I had multiple of these, then and I wasn't getting paid yet, and multiple mortgages, yeah.
I just remember what Alex and Michelle went through with their properties and portfolio, where they were upside down. What was it $860,000 in
Oh
back
my
rent
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
because they
Oh
were
my
managing
gosh.
the worst of the worst. You know,
Well, a lot of it's tenant screening, and I don't know if you saw the meeting for Jamie Kane there on Monday. They're trying to get around us even screening tenants now.
yes, they're trying to ban credit checks and they're trying
Credit
to ban
checks
criminal
and-
history checks
Seriously,
Yes.
how can that's
That's just,
Seriously.
because it's New York. They can do whatever they
Right.
want, and we don't have enough people in positions of power to stop it anymore. They can
Yeah.
literally do whatever they want at this point.
And the last department I rented, I went through hell just trying to find a decent tenant that didn't have a criminal history.
Yep.
It was it was shocking. You could
It-
still use the online search engines like Spyfly and things like that.
Yes.
And it's amazing how much debt people are in and how bad their criminal histories are. And it's not just them, it's, the people moving in with them, you have to check as well. Boyfriends,
Right.
husbands.
Look, no matter what's gonna happen is through all this, especially people who have to pay or people who need to sell, they're gonna be in positions where they're gonna be more open. You'll start seeing people who want to do subject to, just take over the mortgage payment, whatever. I mean, there's gonna
Yes,
be.
we'll see a return to the assumable mortgage 100%.
Yep,
without a
so,
doubt.
yeah, so all this stuff, yes, things can get bad for some people who buy wrong. Bottom line is, no matter what, if you're buying it right, you'll be more in control. So, don't focus on, okay, but tenant, I get that. At the same time, you focus in nicer areas, you'll have less problems. You focus in the city, you're gonna have more it is what it is. I don't want to get into all that, but there's going to be opportunities. I know I'm waiting for it, and we've been seeing more stuff coming.
Yep.
And
Yeah, and
Has
it's
anyone-
gonna keep coming as people figure out they don't want to deal with New York anymore, or they want to move, or they want to do other things. They want to find something more profitable. And cap rates are dropping across the board for people right now. As mortgage rates go up, cap rates are declining. So it's going to be interesting.
Has anyone started going to the auctions again or looking at the auctions?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, there was a ton
Are
of people
they-
at the last one I heard.
Are they increasing or? I mean, the number of available properties going into foreclosure?
Yes, it's not just foreclosure, tax lien. I mean, they're all open again now that we're sort of back in business. What's his name? Who sells those lists? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
not Warner. No.
Yeah, Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sells all those. He sells all those lists. If you want to get an eye on what's coming and what's in pre-foreclosure and all that, he sells all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I used to get it from the Daily Record. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's where most of his information comes from too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there'll be more. I mean, like I don't know. I know some people heard it. Like one of my buddies on the MLS, he put in 50 offers. He got 10 properties out of the 50. This is over the last few weeks, whatever it's been. Now he has either 15, 16, or 18 flips that he's going to have going on at once. I mean, the other ones he's got going on right now are going to be selling pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, he's finding stuff on the
Sounds-
MLS.
That's insane, but they're there for sure. And as long as
A lot of work.
Oh yeah,
But his
absolutely.
payday, and by the way, it's only March. I kind of sort of know what he's going to be making. So like this month, he's going to have a great year. All right.
It's truth.
So yeah, is it work? Damn right it is. But for that kind of money, we'd all be doing it. So,
Yep.
And by the way, Scott, I don't know if you want to add anything. I don't know how long you guys want to be on here for. I have no clue. I know it's just 7 of us, so we're just chit chatting.
I think Brandy figured it out. She got on. She's somewhere
Oh.
in here now.
Well, she got on quicker than I. It took me over 20 minutes to figure this thing out.
Yeah, it took me a bit, but I got in. Had to jump through a bunch of
Yeah.
hoops and stuff, but here I
Yep.
am.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stupid Zoom bombing kids.
Oh man, that was the worst last week or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
They're probably not up this early.
They're probably not. You're right.
Yeah, their mom didn't go down and wake them up in the basement yet.
I know.
Don't worry, honey. You can sleep till noon. That's okay. Don't worry. I'll go to work this morning for you. And you
Oh,
can stay in the
God.
basement.
That's funny.
Yep. And the worst part is
Mhm.
they can still join this meeting, but once you kick them out, they stay out because then they have a Zoom account with an email. That's how that whole thing works. That's why you need to have Zoom, because it's tied to your email. So when you ban somebody, they can't come back in ever.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't, know,
Oh.
we got hijacked a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's why there was hoops today.
Yeah, hoops
So-
and a half. So, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has anything you want to talk about. It's up to you guys.
I think there's a lot of stuff going on to talk about, but I guess it's how I think I covered my section already. I made everybody sad. So that's
Yeah.
my job.
But-
Tracy, and sorry, Tracy, if we scared the what
That's
out of you.
okay, because I'm still in the early stages, so I can pivot really
Yeah,
well.
so the biggest problem that we're seeing right now with all the advice that's out there is a lot of it is super dated and it's not keeping up with the time. So like people are reading like the Burr method and going to bigger pockets and listening to all this cool stuff from like a few years ago about how stuff
Right.
was. And it's like, yeah, all that
Yes.
relies on free money. Like a lot of these business models will not survive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so buy it at a deep discount. Buy it at your price.
Yep.
not
Well,
at
just
their
look at
price.
all these huge commercial operators that are defaulting on their mortgages because they took a floating interest rate loan when they
Mhm.
refied it for
Yeah.
these massive properties. Oh, and speaking of massive properties, did you see that St. Andrews is getting $668,000 per unit worth of rehabs?
What?
St. Andrews Place, the super towers.
unit.
600, the money that they allotted to the project works out to be $668,000 per unit.
Or was it
Yeah.
a 1 and 2 bedroom apartments?
Yes.
Oh,
Your tax money at work.
they must be putting in gold toilets.
668,000 each.
And
Each.
these are like 600, 800 square foot apartments.
Correct. And they're getting $700,000 per unit.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Your
Why
tax
don't
money
they-
at work. That's Conifer. That's Conifer and a developer from out of state working to rehab the entire complex. Now, that's the raw dollar price, right? That's not we have to relocate the tenants and put them up in a hotel. We're going to have to clear a floor out at a time. We're going to have to do all this storage, the facades outside, the roof, all the electrical and HVAC and blah, blah, blah. But it works out to be $668,000 per door.
Why don't they just put up a new building and move them into that?
That's what everybody's saying is you could really build some really nice houses for $700,000 a piece right on the water.
Oh,
Like just
Wow.
knock them down and
Yes.
build a $400,000 house.
so how many units is that over there?
A lot.
Wait, so what was the total price they're getting, Andy?
I don't remember. The 668 is what stuck out. Let's see.
68 million? Okay, no, you don't have to know exact. All right, 68 million. Oh my God. I'm
Wow.
like,
St.
wow.
Andrews,
so
New
wasteful.
York.
Wow.
Conifer.
They're proud of that. That's what's.
Oh yeah.
They're
100.
proud.
That's south. Let's see. That's Southeast Tower.
I
Let's
just
see.
want somebody to ask them that question. You know, that works out to you. So listen, I could do it for probably
526 apartments getting $668,000 each. Total project costs are over $350 million.
Wow.
350
Where
million
is
for
this?
500 doors right downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, right on the water.
Wow.
It's the one you can see from 104. Monstrous, ugly,
Oh,
lots of
okay, yeah.
balconies.
Yes, ugly. They can't even build a nice building. Or have a nice building. Wow.
Yep. So
Wow.
yeah, but that's, again, that's how low income housing tax credit money works is even when it's a single family home, like they've done it in Rochester like 3 times now that I can remember. In the last 20 years since I've lived here, I've seen, like what was it, Lacessi, Atlas, a couple of others all working with the housing authority to knock all these units like Fulton Ave. 20 years ago, they knocked down all of Fulton Ave, redid everything. At the time, they were spending like $120,000 for a house worth 50.
Mm.
I was working for a company. We were doing that. And
Really?
yeah, we did. They did a bunch of houses. and I couldn't believe it. We did all the ones over there. Oh my God, we were on Mariah Street,
Yep.
Wilkins, all those areas there. And yeah, it was all government money. They were spending, I know, $150,000 for $40,000, $50,000 house.
Yep, and that's how that entire program works. And now it's closer to like the house is worth 100,000 and they'll spend 350 to put it up, and they'll just like everybody gets paid who works the job, and then the property is really nice until the first tenant's there for 5 years, and then it's falling apart again. So
Mm.
Yeah, I remember. Oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting places.
pretty entertaining, actually. Not ideal by any means, but entertaining.
Entertaining. He wants entertainment. Work there when we're building it.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I heard stories from the guys that were working that job on the flowers on the habitat side. The guys who were doing the work for the habitat back when it was Art and Bill, they were getting their ladders kicked over, and their people were walking off with their compressors and their generators and all their tools on the ground.
On the roof.
Yeah, they kick the ladder over and just take all their stuff and leave and just walk. Like, what are you gonna do? You're stuck on a roof. Go ahead, call the cops. I'll be gone by the time they get here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Yep. Good times. Good times.
Yeah. So I don't know what else I want to talk about.
I think Dee just joined us. Hi, Dee. She's probably taking attendance, I bet.
That'll be
Howdy
very
ho, D. Hey, we well, to give you a storage story.
Uh-oh.
One of my operators, we're having break-in problems at one of our units. Happened to be in Macon, Georgia. And
oh boy.
and it is for sale under contract. And the people buying it are local and they're aware of what's going on. So for the last 2 weeks, the operator, his wife, and their kids have pretty much been watching security cameras 24 hours a day.
Wow.
And in the last week, they saw 2 people coming in that shouldn't be coming in. Called the police right away. The police knew what was going on too. Police arrived. One guy was in one of the storage rooms, lockers with the door closed, so he didn't hear the police coming. So the police nabbed him, and they got
That's
on
awesome.
security camera. I'm putting him in handcuffs and all that. And then the next night at 4 a.m, I think it was, 2 a.m, they had another guy breaking in. They seen him, come through the gate, and he went up to the office. They were just at the office the day before. They left the light on, just kind of attract attention. He went up to the office. He's looking in the windows and all that. So these guys called the police, and the guy heard the police coming. So of course he's nonchalantly walking away, and they see it all on security cameras. So they tell the police, like, hey, the guy's walking away. He's going west on the name of the street. And they go, yep, we got him. So sure enough, the police trying to phone him, like, we got him. And he has a rock in one hand, and they saw the rock because he was going to smash the window. He has a rock in one hand, still walking down the road, and he has a screwdriver in his pocket. So they
Wow.
arrested him too.
All right.
We
Good
could get rid of the block.
So, storage is good, but it's not without its issues. And when people have no respect for other people's property, that's what happens, and but yeah, they were 2 weeks solid, 24 hours a day watching the security cameras.
Wow.
So, yep. So
No tenants, no toilets, but other stuff.
yeah, still criminals, right? So
So those people were unrelated issues, unrelated scenarios? They weren't working together?
I don't think so. But criminals kind of sometimes run at the mouth, and they probably were saying how easy this place wasn't to break into. Well,
Yeah.
now hopefully word will get out you know, that, oh, hey, so-and-so's not in the circle anymore. Must be he got caught doing something. And you know, so we're thinking word will get around, hey, don't mess with this storage place. So, but like I said, the people buying it, they know what's going on. And you know, they're aware, but they're aware of the steps we've taken. And yeah, so it's been working pretty well.
Good.
Is it one of the ones that's fully fenced off and all automated and everything, and they're still getting in?
Yep.
Did they cut the
You
fence?
got it. Yep. Mhm. Yep.
That's
So,
expensive.
yeah. So
Electric
Well-
fence, Scott, electric.
No, I think that's
Big
illegal
time.
now.
I know.
Legal for horses, not
I-
legal for people.
I went to a RV dealership the other day and I walked up and sure enough, there's a big chain link fence on there. What state? Oh, Georgia. And you know, fence all the way around. It's like 6 or 8 foot high. Big signs on there. Electrified fence, 10,000 volts. So needless to
even
say, I
think
didn't
you
go
could
put
do
my
that.
tongue on it or anything like that. So
Wow.
Well, that's Georgia. Maybe you can in Georgia.
That's
That's
possible.
right,
Yeah, in New
yeah.
York, you'd get sued in a heartbeat.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Even if nobody touched it, you'd get sued. And then when they lost the lawsuit
Mhm.
because there was no damages, they'd go grab it on purpose
Yeah.
just so they could sue you.
Yeah, I sent that picture to my buddy. He was like, "Man, I'm thinking about it. Let me tell you what." Yeah. So, mhm.
Put
Oh,
a
good
dog
times,
in
good
there
times.
overnight. See how that quiet one. Wait till they get.
That's
let them
right.
in.
Oh, it's too much.
Mhm.
It'll be on the
Yep.
news. It'll never happen again.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
What they should do is just take a mannequin or a like a scarecrow and just hit it with a torch a little bit and then zip tie it to the fence and just leave it there as a warning.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
But other
Well-
than those stories, what questions does anybody have now that we've kind of probably scared the crap out of a few people? But I will say in storage, you know, they're super hard to come by, but there's still deals out there. Not like there was, I will say.
$19 a square foot.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yep. So the local guy who bought that, right, Gabe? Did they or didn't they say?
They didn't say. She didn't say who it was.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Was it small or a big facility? Was it a big facility?
No,
50
it's tiny.
Yeah, 5,200 square feet.
1,500?
No, 5,000.
Oh, I'm like, what? Okay, all right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What's up with the
Yeah, like-
contractor garage thing push? Like what is that as an industry? Because I'm not in the
It's-
storage space like at all. I know this is like your
Yeah.
forte.
Mhm.
What is this
It's-
contractor garage thing? Like, why would a contractor want to have his stuff stored next to another contractor stuff? It's like asking for stuff to get stolen.
Well, it is, but you know, you have security everywhere. You know, security cameras and all that. And then one facility we put a motion activated camera on the ceiling because one guy was going through his ceiling, going into the ceiling next to him.
Come on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he did it more than once. And so I put motion activated camera up top, and sure enough, it's like, yep, we got him. And but the contractor garage thing is a very interesting concept that I'm not interested in doing at this point, you know, because you're talking tenants and toilets, maybe not
Right.
toilets, but you're talking tenants. What they're doing, a lot of them is it has a big garage door, you know, 12-foot, 14-foot door.
Yep.
Most of them are 30, 40 feet deep, but they have like a little office too. It's pretty big. I know a couple guys that are doing it and that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And it gives the contractor an address, a business address. It's not their home address. So that's a big push there. And then they have, you know, they get up, they don't have to bring their stuff home, put in the garage, you know, they have their little storage thing to park their vans in or their work truck and all that. And they have a little office. The office isn't big, but it's, internet's provided and electricity's provided and, that it's big. I wouldn't do it, but I know people are doing it and they're making pretty good money doing it. But to me, you're talking tenants and,
Yeah. Issues again.
before you know it, the guy's moving in, oh,
Right.
hey, things ain't going so good with my girl. I need a place to stay, the whole game. So.
Yep.
but
I mean, in
not
a free
anything I'm
state, you probably don't have
aggressive
to worry so much about the eviction process, but still.
doing, Right. Mm-hmm. There
It's-
are
I
some
just, I saw it
just-
on Twitter and I was like,
Yeah.
who thinks
There
this
are
is a good
some
idea?
states where it literally, if somebody moves in New York probably will soon be one. If somebody moves into your storage facility, even though in your lease it says these cannot be occupied, these are not habitable, properties. If somebody moves in, you have to evict them.
Oh God.
You can't just call
Legally.
the police and say, look, they're trespassing. You have to go through the legal process to evict them in some cities. I'm not gonna say states, but in some cities. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially attractive on the climate controlled ones in colder climates, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, $100 a month to live in a 10 by 10 unit, with power
Right.
and air conditioning and all that. TV, man, I'm good to go. Mhm.
You can cook.
Have
Wow.
you removed electricity from any of the units you've bought? Like gone in and taken electric
Yeah.
sockets out of the walls?
Yep, we removed electricity and anything that I build will not have electricity in the unit. We just don't do it.
Yep.
When
Some of them
somebody
have
moves,
lamps that they can adapt, right?
yeah, yeah.
How do you light it? What if they go in at night?
If they go in at night, the buildings are lit. I mean, we are full lit. It's like daytime at most of our properties on the outside. If they want to go inside and get their stuff out, they just point their car towards their door and
Okay.
that's what they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were saying in storage, nothing good happens after dark. So
Right.
some
Hmm.
guys are actually locking down their facility so that the gate doesn't open after like 9 o'clock at night.
Wow.
But they're, they said, well, it's not a revenue stream too, because there are some people that are contractors and stuff that need to get in to their facility 24 hours a day. We know who they are. They have a good track record for the most part. And, they get 24-hour access, but they pay extra for it.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
And we make their codes good for 24 hours a day, or we can actually limit the hours that their codes are good for. It's okay, you can come in up till, nobody else come in after 9, but you come in after midnight and you can come in at, 6 o'clock in the morning. The systems nowadays, technology we have will actually allow us to do that.
That's cool.
But most of them, we do 24-hour access. But if we start having problems, that's when we start shutting things down. So.
Makes sense.
I'd like to be able to do that with your tenant. They don't pay their rent 3 days later. They can't get in their unit. Sorry. I need to get my unit. Great. Pay your rent and you can get in your unit. Wouldn't that be nice in the residential side? I know it can never happen, but Yep. So,
There's a lot of upside for sure. How are you guys seeing storage as far as everybody's raising their prices and inflation and all the other stuff? Is there any kind of downturn, like any
There
slowing
is.
in storage?
There is. We've had a big slowing in move-ins. What's happening is people only have so much income. And with inflation the way it is, people, pay for housing, they have to pay for their medical. Well, some have actually dropped medical, believe it or not. How sad is that? But okay, so they have to have housing, they have to have food, and they have to be able to have transportation to get back and forth to work if they're working.
Yep.
That money only goes so far. When inflation is what it is, people only have so much extra income. So people aren't buying the extra crap that they don't need.
Right.
That's my storage facilities are full, in my opinion, of stuff people really don't need. But then also they don't have the money, even if it's only an extra $50 or $100 a month, something has to give. And some people are just like, I just don't have the additional income because of inflation right now to be able to, stay in the storage facility or move into a storage facility. So we're starting to see that turn. But what we'll start to see too, and this is starting to happen now, evictions and such, in New York State, not evictions, but foreclosures. Banks are allowed to foreclose. The government's opening it up. Banks can start foreclosing. Now it's sad when somebody's house gets foreclosed on, it's sad, but the only reason it's getting foreclosed on is because they haven't made their mortgage payment that they agreed to. So these people have to downsize. So right now they're living in a 3,000 square foot house that they're not paying anything on. They're gonna get foreclosed on, so they have to downscale to 1,000 square foot house. Well, they're not gonna get rid of all their stuff. So they're going to start moving into storage facilities until, something happens. So,
I wonder
So
if there's a
we're-
slowdown because of the lack of people giving up their 3% mortgages too. Like they don't want to move, so they're just going to stay and ride it out. Has there been like a recalc? Wasn't it like 8 square feet per something per capita for storage? Have they like dialed that number back to say, hey,
No.
there's a slowdown? Okay.
no, probably the big boys have, like the extra space storage, the big REITs and stuff like that. They probably have. But we haven't seen that in our network yet. Like, those numbers changed and they probably should. So when we're looking at facilities, we probably should, the per square foot, we probably should be looking to change that a little bit.
I just wasn't sure if there was like direction coming from any major group that does it, because people are, this is what kills me is people talk about the whole, like you see it in the news, right? And I was just having a conversation with somebody at John Burns Real Estate like two or 3 days ago, and we were looking at the overall picture where the news is reporting all these institutional investors are buying all these single family houses and blah blah blah. And the problem is that they consider an institutional investor anybody who buys a property with an LLC. So big institutional investors like BlackRock and the REITs so they started buying in 2010 at less than 1% per year. And then the pandemic hit and they went to 3% of all homes for sale goes to those massive REITs. 48% of the homes that were sold in 2022 went to businesses, but that includes flippers, property managers, blah, blah, blah. The vast majority of buyers who were business purchasers own less than 10 doors. Vast majority. So just interesting numbers. People watch those companies because they're publicly traded and they have huge cap, market cap and other stuff, and they're bigger than the little guys, but they're far from the majority. Most of the people who are buying that the news is reporting on are people who are on this call. So always got to read the numbers and get through the static to find out what the actual story is. Like they're trying to make these huge corporations into the villains, and it's like, no, really, they're making the average Joe who's trying to, establish a retirement fund and make a living and create generational wealth. Those are the people they're vilifying. It's nice.
So Andy, what you're saying that 52% of homes then went to people who are going to live in it? Is that the statistic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Only about half.
Yeah.
Are owned by investors and half.
Yep. Well, they've been saying since I started working with real estate in like main focus real estate in like 2012, 2013. Back then, Home Depot was saying that by 2024, 40% of the country would be renting. And we're right on that number. And now they're saying it's going to be over 50% by 2030, if not higher. So self-fulfilling prophecy, good predictions. I don't know, but that was, just seems to be the way things are going. So
Well, people just buying on credit too much and can't afford to, then
it's not
can't
just
just go
that.
own it.
Just general housing affordability has dropped to zero because real incomes haven't grown really since the 70s. True income hasn't kept up with inflation since like 1972, since we got off the gold standard. So when you look at the actual numbers that are out there in the industry, just nationwide, 0% of all new homes constructed in 2022 were less than $200,000. Zero.
Right.
So that means you're not filling the affordable housing gap that they keep complaining about, because there's no way, there's literally in the US, there's no way to build a house right now for less than $225 a square foot. So unless you're going to build a 500 square foot house, you're stuck with trailers, or single wides, double wides, whatever. You might be able to get $200 a square foot, maybe with a modular of some kind, maybe. But
And most municipalities won't let you build for
Correct.
under 12 anyway.
correct.
Right.
So you're not going, like, there's no good fix there. Either real incomes have to increase, or there's going to be a lot more of the institutional buyers picking up houses and renting because people can't afford the mortgage payments. Now, here's the thing. If they can't afford the mortgage payment, how are the companies that are going to be renting it out to people affording the mortgage payment, right? So I'm curious to see how long this really lasts, but there's a lot of developers now, even here in Rochester, that are doing single family built for rent or duplexes built for rent with like townhouse patio home style. So like Gerber has 14 doors going up in Greece right now that are built for rent. They're side by side patio homes, 14 to 1800 square feet, I think. 2 and 3 bedroom, like they're really nice little, full basement, 2-story type of little patio homes with attached garages and whatever. They're really nice, but I don't know how much of that we're going to see in New York, just because of the cost to develop a lot. Like 10 years ago, lot fees were $30,000 to $40,000 to do a development per. Now we're talking, what is it, 50, 60,000, maybe more. I don't know. Average price to build a new home in New York period is over $300 a square foot. So,
Man.
A couple days ago, I saw that Home Depot is selling, and maybe they've been doing this for a while. They're selling mini homes for $15,000.
yes, the ADU thing. So if you're in an area that's zoned that allows for ADUs, you can do a tiny home. Most municipalities won't allow it as a single standalone. But you can do it as an ADU if it's been approved. But New York hasn't passed anything on ADUs yet. California has, like Oregon, I think has, Washington. It's a West Coast. Still, it's a West Coast push. So, but yeah, no, they've Amazon has them too. Depot, Amazon, Lowe's. Amazon's been doing it for a few years. They've been selling tiny home kits. Yep, you can build it as a shed and turn it into like an office or something on your property. But if you want to use it for any type of dwelling space, you're stuck with all the same rules and regs. So you got to have a sewage connection, a bathroom, water, power, HVAC, and all the other stuff. So you buy the shell, but then you still have to finish it, and you're going to pay double what you paid for the actual shell or more to actually complete the project to bring it up to a livable standard. But yeah. Yep. It's going to be interesting. I think ADUs are going to pass in New York at some point because it is on the docket, but they're shutting down the Airbnb thing at the same time. So it's going to be like, you can rent to your grandma and she can live in your shed in the backyard.
So Airbnbs, they can't keep you from renting a room in your house because that's your physical dwelling, but you just can't rent
Correct.
out. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
That's
and
what the
most of
ADU idea is about.
Most of the zoning stuff is either banning it from R1 or you have to live in the property.
Right.
But like in New York, I don't think you can do an Airbnb legally in any building that has more than 3 units in it. So if you've got a quad, you can't Airbnb
One
out of
section
that
of
building.
it. Okay.
So
That's good to know. I was going to do that in the Adirondacks. Good thing I
Yep.
didn't.
Yep. So apartment complexes that do Airbnb like stuff, they actually will furnish 2 or 3 like executive suites, and they'll lease them to companies like Xerox. For people when they come in, they don't have to go to a hotel. They have a fully furnished apartment in an apartment complex with amenities and all the other stuff, but they still have privacy and it's less than a hotel, and they just pay for it on a lease. And they pay a little more for the lease because it's fully furnished and it doesn't count as an Airbnb. So they get around the rules because they're not doing a true short term. It's leased full time by somebody. It's just assigned to different people as they travel. So
Maybe
gotta
that's
pay a
how
little
you
for
can do it,
cleaning and stuff.
Tracy. Right? Lease, have a full-time lease or something. Interesting.
There's a lot of options
Interesting.
for that.
Yeah.
So they probably won't do it for traveling nurses and stuff, but they would do it for executives and
Mm-hmm.
business meetings and that kind of stuff.
Unless the hospitals can't get a place for their nurses to stay affordably, then perhaps you could talk them into it. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, they're all
Right.
private companies, so it
Mhm.
wouldn't be beyond the pale for them to do something like that, I'm sure.
Right.
Anyway, somebody else talk about something. I'm sick of depressing everyone.
Your wealth of knowledge, Andy.
Yeah, it's great.
Got
Let me tell you, I don't
numbers.
have none of this gray hair came from knowing any of this either. I'm just telling you, it's just from the 9-year-old.
Oh my God.
I just heard rumors that they're trying to make it easier for lower income people to apply for mortgages and qualify, which kind of scares me about what's going on with that, because if you look back to 2008, 2009,
Yes,
I
that's
think it
exactly
sounds
what
like
happened.
we're repeating that cycle again.
Yep, that's exactly what happened in 08 and 09. It was loose lending fundamentals, and they're actually now the credit bureaus have cooked up 3 different credit scores. So you have your actual credit score, and then you have a mortgage score, and you have a car loan score, and they're different depending on what bureau you go to. And they're starting to include personal ESG scores in some of these things, where it's like, if you are a Republican and voted Republican, you're going to get a lower score on your credit history than if you were a Democrat supporting Democrat donors and stuff. So it's going to be a
What?
shit show. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The ESG stuff is great. If you're not socially responsible and green and looking into all that stuff, you're going to have a lower credit score than the people who are all for that stuff. So the
That's not
world's
really a
going in a
credit
great
score,
This
then.
is why you need to leave New York. That's all I'm saying. Everybody just needs
That's
to
not-
move.
That's not a credit score.
Are you trying to scare everybody, Andy?
Just trying to help them
Doing a
make
great
smarter
job
business
of it.
decisions in the future. That's all. Just make.
So
it
this
I'm
is
out
a
of
New
here.
York thing or like a
No,
nationwide
it's
thing?
so the ESG scores thing is now mandated by the SEC. So every company that's publicly traded has to have an ESG score and an ESG statement and an action plan for them to remain on the stock exchange. And so they're also been directed for the banks, all the big corporate banks. So, the publicly traded ones, the ones who are part of the Fed, right? So Bank of America, Citibank, Capital One, whatever those same companies that own Zelle are the Fed, basically. So they all have to have environmental, social, governance programs and policies in place, which means they have to roll it down to all their users. And so they have to have environmentally friendly and equitable social programs baked into all of everything that they do now. So the credit score changes and all that stuff are all based around the Green New Deal / whatever they called it when they passed it, the Inflation Reduction Act. So yeah, it's all baked into that stuff. So it's already been passed. There's nothing you can do to change it at this point. It's just how fast are they going to roll it out?
That's interesting, Andy, because a couple of years ago, I would say 2 years ago or so, my cousin was working for the SEC actually, and he was actually working on that very project that you're talking about, the ESG. And he says the hardest thing we have right now is how do we quantify any of this? Because we numbers all day, and that's what we do, he says. And he says, I understand how you can put a quantity or a number on environmental impact. It just doesn't make any sense. I said, well, where does this come from? He goes, because I think at the time he was working for the Trump administration. Now, regardless of that, the fact of the matter is, he's like, I don't know where it came from. He's like, I just don't understand this. I said, well, is it, Trump? Is it because I don't know, Gabe? I can't tell you. I mean, this just doesn't make any sense. How are we going to quantify all this? I mean,
Yeah.
and he was just running in circles because they're trying to put it all together. They're trying to organize it, and all this. It's like, he's like, I give up. So he left. It's like,
Yep. No, I mean, it's literally, they can just make up whatever they want to make up. So it's just winners and losers, and it's completely top down, government overreach crap, but it's global. It's not just the US. I mean, this has been going on in other countries for forever.
Yeah.
So like, we're 5 years behind the rest of the EU and Britain, and yeah. So yeah, things are going to get weirder than they are now. Yep. That's why I tell everybody, don't do business with any of the big banks like Bank of America, Chase, Capital One. Like, nope, I'm good. I'll stick with my credit union. Thanks. I'm all set.
I agree with that. I have a much easier time dealing with the small banks. I mean, I mean, the biggest bank I deal with was Key Bank, but I don't have any mortgages with them. I deal with CMB, Family Trust. Those guys are smaller banks, are so much more easier to deal with.
Yep, because they're not publicly traded, so they're not beholden to all the SEC. They're still beholden to the SEC stuff from a legal standpoint and the FDIC crap, but they're not to the same level of overreach as the other ones.
I mean, some of the people that work at some of the bigger banks, I know one. I think it was a Key or whichever one it was. He didn't have his mortgage to them. He went through another bank. He was going, it's easier.
Yep.
He worked at that bank, and I'm like going, oh. So that's all I needed to know. So whenever I go to Chase, hey, you want it? Nope, I'm good. Thank you. I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah, that's true. It's the whole system is weird right now. And I mean, I used to work for a very green, environmentally friendly company selling stuff, like not Depot. Like, I did a year at Pioneer Millworks, which is also New Energy Works, the timber framers. And they're all into they were into the ESG thing in 2018. Like, long before it made the news. Like, I got there and I couldn't leave fast enough. That year was like hell on earth. It was terrible. Anyway, I learned a lot, not all of it good. So,
well, I don't know, Scott, you got anything else you want to go over, or anyone else, or?
I'm good myself. Does anybody else have any questions or anything else you'd like to discuss, or anything like that? I will say, Joe and Andy, I won't be on in 2 weeks.
it's okay because it'll be at the Ferrari Pizza Bar anyway.
Oh, okay. You're gonna go to the live evening Aries
We're
meetings.
going live.
Yes, we have
I
to.
didn't know this.
Yes, you did. You just never
I
did anything.
I know we talked about it. I didn't know we're actually doing it. I'm fine.
We already updated the calendar and everything. When I bugged you the other day, I was literally building the calendar for the next 6 months.
Oh my God.
Uh,
I would have gotten
okay.
out. Where is everybody?
I'm glad the two guys who run the Aries meetings know that. So
I know.
Joe said, and I quote, "Okay, I'll call Scott."
Oh my God. That's funny.
So the Thursday night one is at Ferrari's live? No,
It'll be
Zoom.
live at Ferrari's next time. Yeah,
All right.
That's the evening or the morning one?
the evening. The morning one
Evening,
will
yeah.
stay on Zoom as soon as people can figure out how to do this whole Zoom reconfiguration, have a free account thing. So
Cool.
we'll do a better job. We'll send out a mass text to everybody right before the meeting starts, and we'll make sure people know that they actually have to do some stuff.
So is
Yeah.
this security issues?
What's that?
This change due to the security that we have?
Yeah, that's why, because you can't kick somebody out and keep them out unless they have a Zoom account. So they can just keep coming in as a different name. Like, somebody's on there as Zoom user or iPhone SE, they can just keep rejoining with a different name. They just change what they type in and come back into the meeting, which is what they did to Joe. And because Jake got on and kicked the same guy out 5 times, and the guy just kept rejoining.
Yeah.
So the only way to do that is to make sure that they have a Zoom account, so that when you kick them out, it's tied to their Zoom account, and then you can click the report button and it actually does something, like Zoom can actually action them. So, yep.
Yeah.
See what we have to do? It only takes one jerk to ruin it for everyone.
It was two, I think. It was two of them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a couple.
I mean, you got a few 100,000 hits on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. Last time I looked, I think it was like 200 plus thousand. I go, well, these guys are obviously pretty popular.
Yep.
But I never heard of them, but okay. So. All
Well,
right.
if they're on YouTube, why couldn't you report them?
Well, because Zoom can't do anything because they don't actually know who the people are. Like we have the recording, so we could turn it into somebody, but it's easier when there's an email address where they agree to terms and conditions for the account, because then there's a legal contract, right? So all those terms and conditions, whenever you use anything on the web, just going to the website, there's usually a terms and conditions thing on the website that says like, if you're here and you're using it, you agree to our terms and conditions. If you're not going to agree to these, then you're not allowed to use our website. Get lost. But it makes it fall back to the person who's actually using the site. So, yep.
Yeah. All fun and games till it happens to you, right?
Yep.
You know, like those clowns on the Zoom bombers, you know. I believe in karma, and hopefully something can be coming back to them. And
well, one of them was on the general meeting call when we did it for the hard money lending panel. They were actually on the call. They just didn't do anything. And it was weird because they're on there as like Zoom user or something. And I tried kicking them out and they came back in. I was like, whatever, I don't care. So they were like prepping to see what we had in place to stop them, I guess.
Oh,
So now we're on the list.
not anymore.
Well, I mean, they could still go through the rigmarole to join and pay their $20 to get the code, but I don't think they're going to open their wallet to Zoom bomb when there's free
Bobby's not,
ones they can do.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I don't know about you guys. I mean, this was kind of a nice personal weird call.
Once people showed up, it was like me and Diane for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It took me 20 minutes to get out. I was like, oh my God, this is like crazy. So
Yep.
I appreciate everybody getting on and staying on. So, you know.
Yeah, appreciate you guys being here. I always learn something. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just sorry I depressed everyone.
Reality snuck
Just
in.
have
That's
a
right.
good team and do the right thing. That's all. Just make sure the numbers work. Don't just jump into it because you want to do something. Like, you got to know what the numbers are. And there's a lot of things like cap rate that is changing with the interest rates. And you have to look at your NOI is not like NOI doesn't include capital expenditures and it doesn't include debt service. Pretty sure that's how you get paid. Like, those are important.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really followed cap rates until I got in storage, and that's a whole nother meeting. But you know, talking about cap rates, if you know what they mean, we were selling self-storage facilities at a 6.5 cap. Now they are trending towards a 7.5 to 8.5 cap. And what that means, if you don't know what cap rates are, that means that the price that you're selling things for are going down. So.
Yep.
So like we said, those, you know, the owners who think their facility is still worth $1 million from a year and a half ago, sorry, they're worth now $700,000.
yeah,
And
but Troy
it's,
has a problem.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. And people are stuck because now they're kicking themselves and they want to get out, but they don't want to take the price hit, and they're kicking themselves and going, crap, I should have done this 6 months ago, a year ago. Why did I wait? Why did I wait? Sorry, the numbers were there. The writing was on the wall. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
we're in I think it's in May, we'll be fully into the inflation curve that, you know, was transitory. So yeah.
And like I said, I didn't know what a cap rate was, honestly, till like 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah, I just got in, flipped houses, got out, and made money. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Right.
So,
Right.
all right, everybody. Well, I'm good. So,
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
I will not see you in 2 weeks. Have fun at your live meeting there, Joe.
Pizza.
You better drive in, fly in on your private jet,
Dude.
Scott.
Nope.
He's got a
Nope,
he's got a
can't-
helicopter now.
can't
He can land
afford
right
to.
on the roof.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I'll just reach out to
Alright.
John. Yo, John, I'm gonna fly my plane to your property, and then he can fly me a helicopter over to Ferrari's Pizza.
There you go.
That'll work. That'll be my transportation mechanism.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Everybody have a great day. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good day,
Thank
everybody.
you.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.